Good morning again, and welcome to the channel, such as it is, semi-professional, amateur. Okay, so today is all about oil coolers, transmission oil coolers and motor oil coolers. There's two in this boat, and they're both the same design, and as you can see up in the upper right-hand corner, they have a fundamental design flaw, and that is they're soft copper. And not only are they soft copper, but they only have about a 3/4 of an inch for the hose to fit over and the clamp to come down on. That presents a real problem. This is the transmission oil cooler, and as you can remember from the last video, I took it apart because the bottom flange where the hose connects, this guy right down here, was crushed and needed to be pounded out and rounded again. So I did that. I took it apart. So as we talked about yesterday, you got to take these oil line hoses off. And since I'm taking them off and they're 45 years old, I wanted new ones. So I thought that Napa Auto Parts was a good place to go to get new ones built. And in fact, I was correct. They build these kinds of hoses. Now these hoses are very high pressure hydraulic hoses. The ones that were on it, I'm not sure whether they were high pressure or not, but these are much better hoses. And they built them for me and no problem at all. They came out perfect. So if you need to get your oil line hoses rebuilt, Napa Auto Parts is the place to go. And when I was doing that, I found out that this hose for the transmission connects right into the drain plug for the transmission. So since I had the hose off anyway and the oil was coming out, I removed the oil drain plug and drained the oil out of the transmission. It's a Type F automatic transmission fluid, Dextron Type F Ford, whatever. And so I'll be replacing the oil in that transmission with brand new oil, which is a good thing anyway. Now, as I was saying, these oil coolers, intercoolers really, so they take the fresh water flow and they cool the oil and circulate it back into the transmission. Seem to be an industry standard kind of design. Made out of soft copper. The nipple on each end is very short, very soft. Unless you have a really direct straight line coupling to it and there's no tension on the tubing, it might be okay. But in my mind, this is not a safe solution for a boat. I mean, these things just have no grip at all, and they're gripping soft copper. So the one on this one was crushed because of the clamp on the hose being drawn tight. And I know that for certain because the oil cooler, which is just ahead of this one, I crushed that one in the same way, just tightening down the clamp. So I went online and looked, and they're all the same, pretty much all the same. There's some stainless steel ones out there that are better. They're all very expensive, $130 to replace this little one. And if you replace it, you got to replace it with stainless, and then that's like $500. So I thought and searched and thought, what am I going to do about this? How am I going to fix it? And lo and behold, an idea popped into my little brain this morning, and I'll show you what I did. Lo and behold, I had a couple of 1-inch NPT to 1-inch hose barb connectors lying around in brass. And the idea popped into my brain that maybe these things would fit over the end of the oil cooler. So I took them downstairs into the shop, and I sanded down the copper ends so that they would be fresh copper and nice and shiny. I removed the flare at the end of each one because they wouldn't fit inside these hose clamps, inside these hose barbs. But once I did, they fit perfectly. They just snugly, I tapped them in, and then I took solder for sweating copper pipes, and a torch heated up the hose barb end to the point where it melted the solder. The solder sweated itself into the joint, and now I have a proper connection for these damn things. And it's the way they should be made to begin with. Soft copper, 3/4 of an inch long, is not a proper connection for an intake hose or any other kind of hose. It's just not proper for a boat. It has no safety, built into it at all. So that's how you fix these things so that they can be put in place and forgotten about. No concerns about them ever failing because the hose falls off. I hope you enjoyed today. It's a gorgeous day out. You can hear the birdies singing. And I had to order 2 more because I only had 2. So this project is on hold, and maybe I can get back, now that it's warmer, to my fiberglassing job and putting in the exhaust hoses. Thanks for watching. This has been a good discovery. Bye.